So I've been doing YouTube since about early 2009. Been around a little bit longer, but that was the first video I posted up, March 2009. And I think that in the 6 years I've spent on YouTube, going through various games, Call of Duty, throughout the series, now onto Pokemon mainly, I think that Verlisify is probably one of the most stupid people I've ever encountered on YouTube. The whole of YouTube. He's up there with like Fisticuffs, with El Presador from the Modern Warfare 2 era, if you guys remember that. The guy's an absolute moron. I got a lot of things I disagree with him on. And one of the videos he put up a few days ago was about VGC, right? So he's supposedly a big VGC player. And I want to say this up front now. I'm not a fan of VGC whatsoever. I'm a Smogon player. I go by Smogon tiers. But I am open-minded. If you like playing VGC style games, so basically, you know, doubles matches where basically the only rule is don't bring legendaries, don't put any swear words as nicknames. Those are essentially the rules. If you want to play by those rules, that's absolutely fine by me. I have no problem with you whatsoever. The reason I have the problem with this little fucker, Verlisify, is some of the comments he's left on my videos in the past. Now, I had actually not heard of him before this, and I think his channel was just starting up. But when I posted a video a while back, which is like a competitive guide for beginners to Pokemon, it was based on Smogon rules, because I figure, you know, those are the rules I know best, and 90% of people on YouTube will be playing by those rules, so it makes sense to go by that. So I posted, you know, a comprehensive video about that. And this is one of the comments he left on the video. He says, "This is a weak guide. You lost me with tiers since they are 100% unofficial and useless in true competitive battling. The team setup has no use at all because of weakness spread. Having whatever fits your style works the most. Predictions are also not for beginners. It's something you learn over time by getting a feel for the game. I made a real guide on developing strategies on my channel. I don't feel this one does a good job." Right, so let me go through that in order. This is a weak guide. That's, you know, your opinion. I can let that slide. I'm happy to have a disagreement with people. He does go on to sort of explain why it is exactly he thinks it's a weak guide. And I'm going to pick apart each of those individually. You lost me with tiers since they are 100% unofficial. Correct. They are 100% unofficial. VGC does not recognise any of these tiers. VGC doesn't have tiers. They basically just say, don't bring Mewtwo and you're fine. The whole point of the tiers, right? Smogon is sort of, think of it as like a Pokemon democracy of the community. People vote on what they don't want to be in certain tiers. It's a way of sort of categorizing Pokemon such that you can get some use out of some of the worst Pokemon. Like, there are some Pokemon which you could argue are objectively worse than something like, you know, Dragonite up in OU, for example. Take something like Cacturne or Corsola or something down in the lower tiers. You wouldn't see those in Ubers, you know? Like, in VGC format, the only Pokemon I've seen that even fits that sort of category is like when the guy used Pachirisu last year, which everyone was, you know, really surprised about. Everyone was amazed. I was amazed. I thought the guy's a maniac, but kudos to him for making it work. But the idea of it is that these Pokemon which you wouldn't ever see normally, nice little fly in front of my face, get some sort of usage. It adds variety to the game. If you want to play with these lesser used Pokemon, you can do, without fear of having like a Dragonite or an Excadrill sweep your team. That's the whole point of it. No one is trying to argue that those are the official rules. If you go to a VGC tournament, that is irrelevant. Anything you've learnt from Smogon is irrelevant. The reason I base my guide on Smogon is, one, because, in my opinion, those are the best rules to play by. If you disagree, that's fine. Like I said, that's just my opinion. And I figure most people who are looking to battle have watched videos from people like, you know, Shofu, from Hayden, you know, the bigger YouTubers. And they've seen that and thought, oh, I'd quite like to get into that. And naturally, they would want to go into the Smogon style of play. But if you want to go to VGC, that's absolutely fine. I would hope that the stuff I taught in that about sort of predictions, team building, that sort of thing, could carry across. And I wouldn't hold it against you if you did play VGC. The team setup has no use at all because of weakness spread. Well, that's absolute bullshit. The team I showed in the video is actually very good. objectively, it is one of the most, I guess, cookie cutter teams you could run at the time. I think most people will agree. If you go back and watch it, it's like a Gen 5 NU team with like Sork and Golurk and whatever else. Like, I played a lot of NU, right? I probably had the most NU battle uploads at the time on YouTube. So I knew the tier. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't necessarily use that team, but I'm saying that is a good starting team. So I don't know what he's on about there. Having whatever fits your style works the most. Now, I sort of see what he's getting at here. He's saying that everyone should play by their own sort of style. Don't try and conform to some, imaginary rules that everyone should be playing by. Like, this is how you should play. This is the sort of team you should build. I don't agree with that whatsoever. But I think that he's sort of thinking of it in a way that it's like the anime. Like, if you believe in your Pokemon hard enough, if you have the power in your heart, you can pull through with like a banded Weedle or something. I don't understand the point he's trying to make there. I think he's sort of forgetting the fact that there are effective ways to play Pokemon. And far be it from me to say use the best thing available. I am all up for variety. I love experimentation in the game. That's what makes it fun for me. So a bit of a shaky little point there. I get what he's trying to say, but I think it was phrased badly. Predictions are also not for beginners. It is something you learn over time by getting a feel for the game. I actually made that exact point in the video, so I don't know why he's bringing that up. It is something that you learn through playing. I'm just trying to give sort of an introduction to it to explain what people talk about when they say, oh, I predict this, And this is the bit that really pissed me off. I made a real guide on developing strategies on my channel. I don't feel this one does a good job. Right, first off, don't advertise on other people's channels. That really, really pisses off any YouTuber. Don't ever do that if you're an aspiring YouTuber. Don't ever promote yourself on someone else's channel. That is the first way to get someone to hate you, honestly. Second of all, have you seen a Verlisify strategy? Here's one for Wailord. Straight from one of his videos, that's a screenshot, completely unedited. Fucking curse amnesia Wailord with heavy slam. No waterfall, no stab, just heavy slam because it's a big fat fuck and he assumes, oh, it's big and heavy. Heavy slam's a good idea. What a stupid, worthless moveset that is. Once again, I want to assert the fact that I am up for variety. I love experimentation. But he's trying to sell this as an effective moveset. He's trying to say, if you do this, you can win VGC champions. Like, he's saying this is a good moveset. He's not saying, it's just a bit of a laugh. He's saying it's good. Right? Which is absolute bullshit. And here's another one of his golden nuggets from the comments section of my video. The rest of the information in the video is already just common sense. It's not, if you've never played it before. He put no effort to add his own personal flair to make it a strong video. It was probably the video I put in the most effort. There was a lot of editing, a lot of research went into that, so that's bullshit. He used advice that anyone has access to instead of making it personal and more in-depth, which is why I guess my video has become one of the most viewed on YouTube, because it was a guide that wasn't necessarily done before. I was putting together all that information. It was my personal opinions. I put in my teams, I put in some of my advice, clips from my games. It was personalised, it was in-depth. It was a comprehensive guide, and it's still there if you want to see it, by the way. Having weakness diversity is basic, but it only stops creativity from fear or weak team comps. I think he phrased that badly, but I'll let it slide. Weak team... But I want to come on to this point in a sec, actually. I'll leave that for now, but I do have a point about that in terms of like weak teams and stuff. This isn't also about finding what works for the player to make them better, but simplicity for all. No, I argue that is the starting point. You want a good, strong, simple team to start with to learn the game. I say this to anyone I've taught the game to. Then you diversify. That's the way to get into it. It's like teaching someone to drive in like a proper fast sports car as opposed to just a basic 1-litre engine Ford or something. You know, that's basically what I'm saying. I love creativity. I love experimentation. But that is something that comes with experience of the game. I don't feel 100k, that's actually 500 plus, people have been properly informed. Well, that's your personal opinion. I think from the feedback I've got, people have loved it. I've got a great response. I'm glad that people like it. I'm glad that I'm teaching people. And I appreciate all the feedback, except from this motherfucker right here. And let me go on to the point I was saying about good teams. One of his videos he put up recently, which I actually have some agreement with him. There's very few things I agree with Verlisify on, but this is something I will give him credit for. He made the point that in the VGC 2015 championships, which happened, what, a week ago or something? He was saying that the variety of teams is lacking a lot, which is true. Basically, every team was like Mega Kangaskhan, Cresselia, Amoonguss, Landorus, Thundurus. You can see the little image on the screen here. It's very, very standardized. And I don't like that. He doesn't like that. We can agree on that point. The point of the VGC is, this is a point that I actually make, it doesn't encourage diversity. You have all the Pokemon lumped together in one big tier, so naturally you're going to go for the best of the best. You have no reason to use a Corsola, or a Pachirisu, to mention the guy earlier, in VGC, unless you're fucking brave, or you're trying to prove a point. I don't blame the people for choosing a team with Cresselia, with Landorus, with whatever else they picked, Amoonguss. There's a $10,000 prize. For a $10,000 prize in a Pokemon tournament, I'd go around smashing all the kids' DS's. That's a lot of fucking money when you're just playing Pokemon for a laugh. So can you really blame people for that? That is VGC. VGC says, bring whatever you like, just don't put any swear words in your nicknames, and don't bring any legendaries. Including, like, fucking Fion, which is terrible. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a proper rule set. That is the official rule set, but it's really like a lazy sort of, yeah, just don't bring Mewtwo and Groudon, it's fine. That's the point I'm trying to make. And I would really, really love an intelligent discussion with Verlisify. But every time I've tried, it's like talking to a fish, nothing goes in. You can say whatever you want, try and make a rational argument. Because it's fine to have, you know, a disagreement between VGC players, between Smogon players. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually have a lot of friends who do play VGC and they enjoy it, which is fair enough. If you want to play that, then that's your personal preference. But he's so stubborn, he just doesn't... I don't know if he's genuinely stupid, or he's doing it, like, as an act, you know? Like he's deliberately being obtuse and sort of bouncing off any ideas that come at him. By the way, if you try and disagree with this man, he will block you immediately. I'm pretty sure he's blocked. He's definitely blocked me. A few other people I know, and basically anyone who has tweeted him anything negative is just blocked. The man is weak. He can't respond to criticism. If it's a legitimate bit of criticism, if you say, oh, I disagree with this, blah, 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 what's your rebuttal to this? Do you have any other way of going about this issue? He just blocks you. He can't think of a comeback. That is my problem with Verlisify. So I want to say to you people, take what I say with a pinch of salt. Check out Verlisify's stuff. If you agree with me, let me know. I personally think the guy is an idiot. If you like him, that's fine. I won't judge you. But I have a real problem with some of the stuff he says.